the old small town, it's alright. Go to a small town, it's alright. Go to a small town, it's alright. Go to a small town, it's alright. We're gonna take you a little bit of trip up north from Alabama line. I bet you're gonna find a couple of little towns, so we're gonna have mine. I gotta have mine.
Suck my dick.
Ooh. Get the party started early.
All right.
Both of you over here critiquing my studio.
So we have teased it. We have told you on the radio. We've told you on the podcast on YouTube that we would bring Jayson J. Peterson. And you've heard about the man, the myth, the legend. He's our friend. Former radio DJ.
Who?
Jayson J. Peterson.
Hi.
Whose
My
crotch
God.
is right behind me here.
Right behind you.
That's
where
why
it
he's picking up all your talk.
always should be.
As it should be.
Huh?
So,
Just like old days,
Wait,
huh?
was that a joke about, like, doing it in the butt or something?
oh boy. That's how we're starting.
Anyway, what were you saying?
So, what I was thinking was...
Just kidding. I love you. I love you.
I told him I hated him like 6 times.
He did.
I'm going to tell you that I love you 6 times.
Just to balance it out. Yeah. So, we've both known Jayson J. Peterson a long time. Me and Jayson J. Peterson have known each other since high school.
High school.
We were in drama together. We were on the theater team together. Actually,
Forensics is what they
it's
called it
called
back
forensics
then.
then.
Doesn't have anything to do with criminal activity.
it was drama and debate.
Yep.
Another member of our debate team was Matt Gates, who's now...
So I have
Congressman.
stories about him that I don't think I can tell because
you
I have a
can.
security clearance.
Oh, okay, then you can't.
So I don't
But,
think I can go into that
But
anymore.
actually what happened, we knew each other in high school, but when we really got to become friends, he was out of high school. I was a senior.
college.
He was in college, and he would come along and judge the competitions and chaperone us on the bus, that kind of thing. He was like our big brother, theater big brother guy. And then as that comes out of my mouth, it makes us sound both very homosexual.
Theater, big brother?
But what are you going to do?
It's theater.
It's theater.
You just embrace it.
Yeah. So, did you guys meet through radio? Did
We
you
met
meet?
through radio.
Okay.
Yeah, you were working nights. I was working nights.
We both got started Star. Or
We were
through the
underpaid.
radio. We both would just
Underpaid.
sit there. Well, at
The fun
first,
thing about this, by the way, is that
he
you
was
can
full-time.
talk trash about the other radio stations, any radio.
I mean, I still have friends there.
So do we.
I mean,
we all do. right?
Friends. So I had a good time working at the radio station. It's just you want to know. You guys want to know a secret?
Which station were you guys at when you became friends?
I sucked at radio, so I got out and I got a real job.
Untrue. I mean,
What?
real job is
Computering.
true, but
Real
I do.
job.
I don't think that you
computering
sucked
now.
at. I don't think that you sucked at
I
radio.
love computering though. You know what the cool thing is about when you work like with computers? The longer you work with computers,
The more you can make it
the
work.
more money you make, which is
Right.
the opposite
Of
of
radio.
radio. Like the longer I worked at radio,
Right.
the less money I made. And it was really weird. So I sort of had an epiphany about that. Like, wow, I need a real job.
You know, I'm doing math right now, too.
Yeah. And then shortly after I had that epiphany, they laid me off. So it worked really well.
When I became aware of your radio life, you went by Jesus. You
No, I was like Jay. I was some manner of Jay. It was like Jason or just Jay or something stupid.
I thought you were Jesus Peterson.
No,
on
that
the
was just
midnight.
you. You were the only one who called me that.
Jesus.
That was a Nick only sort of thing.
Is
Maybe
that
a couple of
true?
people in forensics called me that.
Okay, maybe that was a
This
theater
is like
thing.
one of the best scenes in all.
But
of
you
cinema,
were-
right here,
See, this is what, when I think Jayson Peterson,
right there, when he just
Yeah.
forced through that
Yeah,
dude
yeah,
up
yeah.
on the ceiling, and he's like, "GG, out noobs, see ya." Gone. Over there.
Yeah.
Sorry, have you accepted the world
take,
savior, Darth Vader?
But you were the midnight guy back then on 99 Rock.
I was more. I did
Right?
midnight sometimes.
Yeah.
They had a little more regular midnight guys. I was like the fill-in midnight guy when they couldn't
Right.
find
So
a
like when
midnight guy.
when Ox would lose his mind, you had to
Ox
take over.
is good now.
Oh,
so,
I've heard.
yeah.
I've heard that he's
yeah,
fine.
but he really
He went
lost
through
it.
some stuff, and when he would go through stuff, then
They would call me
Like he
and they'd
set
be like,
off
"Hey,
an
Jason,
EAS test.
can you
it happened.
can you come into the studio and not be insane?"
Right.
please?"
So one cool thing that led to a thing that led to a thing that led to a thing was your mom didn't your mom also work at the station?
Yep, my mom got me that job.
Right, and she got me a job at Love 100 as the morning DJ on a station that didn't have a real DJ, except that I would just say I would just do the station break.
You know, I was totally unaware of that.
Yeah, so all I would do was I'd be like, "You're listening to Love 100."
That was professional.
And that was it.
It was hot.
They wouldn't let me say anything else. They wouldn't let me talk about the music, nothing.
That sounds right.
And
But I bet
and then at some point it occurred to them that we can just record that once and not have to pay anyone.
I
that's
bet you put every bit of emotion you could into just those.
No,
words.
and I only did it when I only worked it one day, which was like 2 shifts. I did it, and then I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore.
I bet,
Like, this
I
isn't
bet like you were like
any fun.
we got the technology.
But it
Hey,
was,
we were
it was nice
recording
of
that,
your mom,
right?
though.
We could just throw that right in the spine. We just keep going to fire that stupid kid.
Yeah.
Then the next time you're like,
But it was nice of your mom to get me that.
It was.
spot.
It was nice of her to get me that
Yeah,
job.
because I was going to college for that at the time. I was thinking like, I'll be a radio DJ one day. Then I did that one day of Love 100. It was like, nope. And then 20 years later or whatever, now I'm with Mark on a weekly. So that's cool.
It only takes 20 years to get a career in radio.
Yeah, but
And then they don't even pay you.
they don't, right. Like they literally don't pay me, but I get to say basically anything I want. I'm like, I get to be like the total rogue voice on the station where like I can just say whatever,
Glad you do.
So that's fun. You get to say whatever you want on radio if you don't expect a paycheck.
you know what? At this point though, I'm like, you know what? It's late night, Sunday night,
Who's listening?
and also
There's
I'm,
3 people
You.
in Tom Thumb.
I'm in, I'm
You
in
and
Fort
40
Walton
other
Beach
people.
on the radio. Maybe I should get a little more ballsy.
You can only go up.
I've
from
really
here.
brought him
Yeah,
out of
I
his
can only
shell.
go up.
Okay,
So, I want to tell you guys how excited I am to be. Am I your first guest?
you
Yeah.
are our first
And
guest.
just to think, you could have anyone in all of Fort Walton Beach here on here, because I
That
know
is-
you guys are friends with everyone in the world.
That is true.
So my question is, I'm nobody, and why me? Because you could have some
Well,
real talent on here.
you-
I thought you got like the Rob Perez's and the Brandon Days of the world, and I'm thinking, this is my idea. So I thought, let's set the bar so low.
Let's get Kevin McKay on here.
Oh,
For that
gets better
first
from
one,
here. Right. That's
the
not
year
it.
from now,
No.
you could be like, man, look how far we've
No.
come. We-
What it really is that you are, because you got out of radio and went to real job world, computer world, dad life.
I did
Right?
have a mortgage. Yeah.
You are like
Still
a
do.
dark horse, so you know everyone too. You're like a connecting, tying thing, right? That you were not only did me and you. We just got started on mine and
You
yours.
know what he's doing?
Crazy story.
He's getting up into the next generation's.
Oh, you have
what
no
I-
idea.
'Cause
And
his
in
kids-
classic
his kids are
dad
gonna
fashion,
inform him.
I don't stop talking about my
Right.
children. It's like freaky,
Well, that's good though.
actually. She's so good at
But
playing
your kid's
guitar.
gonna start a band, and then you're gonna.
But
know
we were in
about
a band
And
together.
they're awesome at theater, and they do dance.
And you
they
were
do
in
all
a
these
and
cool
you were in a
things.
band. You were in an early version of Helvetica Effect, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Right.
I came up with that name. Rob Perez may tell you otherwise, but
Like
fuck
all the
him.
JP
When we have him on the show,
Just
we will
kidding.
discuss that.
Rob,
fine.
you should totally come on.
But
because
but
this is pretty fun.
But you're like a connecting tissue.
Rob.
You know everybody too, and you're not a local celebrity anymore.
Like a local D-list celebrity. Let me tell you about the height
So-
of my celebrity.
Right.
I was into Target once. It was our Target in Fort Walton Beach, and I'm like Layla was like 3 or something, and I'm holding her, and I'm looking at Transformers toys in the toy aisle because that's what I do. And then these 2 like preteen girls walk past the aisle, and my wife is like 2 aisles down, and as they keep following like the way down, they pass by my wife, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that was JP." And then my wife never stopped giving me shit about that.
Oh,
she would like
Justin Bieber over
she would
here.
like come over like, "Oh, it's JP!
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
can
his
see her
name is
doing that.
JP!"
For sure.
And I'm like, "You married me, so."
Yeah, I remember when you guys got hitched, and you were so man. You guys had, and this is sappy, but you guys had one of those like really beautiful love story. I remember when you
And now
when you guys are
We're
great.
old.
You're great though.
It's pretty
You're the
rad,
fun
actually.
parents.
Yeah.
You have the water
Really.
balloon fights.
I am
for the
like
birthday
the cool
parties.
dad. That's
You
kind of
have-
nice.
You have like
The great life.
That home. That
You-
like
oh.
I envision the
A home
perfect
should be
child
like-
out
Yeah.
Here's
I
the
agree.
secret to that.
I agree.
My wife grew up, but I didn't.
Oh, that's perfect.
Like I'm like the third.
you can
kid,
do the fun stuff, and then she does the responsible stuff.
pretty much.
Kind of, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She is the discipline.
To lesser extent,
in the
somewhat,
house. It's not me.
Yeah.
Because I suck at it.
But you know, when you
Because they
guys,
come up, they say dirty things and curse and stuff, and I'm like,
but
couldn't.
when you,
No, you were totally telling them off the other day.
it happens.
Was I?
He's still
We were
their
playing-
dad. I mean,
we were
it's
playing
not.
Mario Kart, and you were like, "Watch it, Layla."
Well, that's something I say every 5 minutes when I'm around Layla. So,
Right.
hey, language.
Right. Hey, language.
And then I'm like, hey, language. And then I'm like, oh man, look at this fucking Mario Kart. Like, this fucking Yoshi coming out. This
It
motherfucker.
was great. It was so
yeah, but you're allowed. It's called adult language for a reason. you know?
When you get up to be 18 years old and not a day prior,
but when
you can curse too.
but in case she's watches this, which there's no way she's gonna watch this far in.
She's probably going to tell all of her friends.
But
Jesus.
when you met your wife, before she was your wife,
She's already stopped the
you
stream.
you came to me and you said,
Yeah, you
"Man, you're not gonna believe the girl that I found." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" And you were like, "She's like a supermodel." And it was so adorable. I was
wanna know
just
the
like,
best
"What
part?
a sweet guy!" Like
She still is. It's pretty rad.
she is. She's gorgeous.
and she's older
and
than
she's
me.
awesome.
I
and
shouldn't have
nice.
said that out loud.
You got the life, man.
Oh, well.
It's great.
Yeah, it's not
I'm
bad,
proud
it's
of
not
it.
bad.
I've been
Kill
happy for you
both of
since that
right
day.
now. Stop talking about how happy and with people you are.
Well, I like to think of the show as like the Facebook where you don't get to see all
Give me some of that alcohol.
You don't get to like hear me and my wife yell at each
emptiness.
other about dishes at 5 in the morning.
The emptiness is so full.
Be like, oh, you want me to go ahead and fucking do these things because I don't have enough to do. Oh, let me go ahead and get care of your kids this day for it. Well, fuck it up.
Let me
Bam!
tell you. We'll talk about
That's
the
really
dark
marriage.
side. We'll talk about the dark side though, and you guys have seen this dark side. For whatever reason, when my kid is around your kids, he decides to hate my guts.
oh, it's great.
Well, that's like
So,
that's kids in general.
he
though.
is-
He's trying to be cool in front of the
How-
girls.
how-
He is.
How
He's-
old is he?
He's 7.
That's right. That's correct.
But
yeah,
he's
that's
daddy's
correct.
little buddy almost all the time. Like he follows
Yeah.
me everywhere, wants to be just like me, wants to be an archaeologist when he grows up, and wants to be a rocker and all that stuff.
Live that.
But when we're hanging out with
Wait.
your daughters,
Yep.
I think he like wants to show off for the girls, so then he's just real mean to me.
Are you an archaeologist just so you can say I'm a rocker and a rocker?
Oh, that's pretty good. How have I never thought of that before? But the dark side is
very
that
I
you know.
I'm
Bravo.
fucking hilarious.
So
Bravo.
when we had a Mario
Encore.
Kart tournament at your house one time, he
Yeah.
just rooted for me to die the whole time. Then on a different birthday party, you had your like annual water balloon war that
Oh, dude.
you guys have,
I'm
which is
still sore for
which
that.
is extreme.
That was a year ago.
Which is extreme. Okay, like they've got like they hide these huge like Tupperware barrels and
So I
trash
enlisted
cans.
my neighbor's help with that. I went
Right.
and basically stashed like 2 or 3 buckets full of water balloons, and I had a lot of very able-bodied friends. Some of those friends were like ex-military members.
Right.
And we were some fit dudes. We're just like, we're like, okay, we're
Yeah.
strong. We're warriors. We're gonna take these
We
little
took it seriously.
preteen broads,
Except
and we're gonna take them down.
Except my kid defected to the girls' team.
Turns out,
Turns out they
a
beat-
bunch of 12-year-old ballet
Ballerinas.
dancers
Yeah.
are way more fit than we are.
Yeah, they ran faster. They
Yeah.
could jump
It
over
was
all this
scary.
stuff. We were pinned against inflatable
We
animals.
were Muldoon and they were the Velociraptors.
Yeah, for real.
It's-
I think there was even one of those spitters. One of them.
yeah, like spit on
That's
it.
the girl you want. The spinning, the girl that
that has the frill. And just
you want that girl.
Oh, she's like 9.
no, you're like 12.
Ah, man, that's not what I meant.
Depends on how north of I-10 we get. It's okay.
Did I get confused? Wait, what?
We ain't Crust Tucky, son.
Yeah. Going up to Baker. Oh,
Oh, man.
present company excluded, of course.
Yeah, we dissed Baker on the radio show earlier in the week on accident, sort of.
To be fair, I think my only like experiences
I love
of Baker
There. Fuck
are like the corn maze up there, and that corn maze is actually pretty rad.
They got
so-
those huge corn.
The
guns,
cannons?
the corn cannons.
Yeah, you know who's really good at those cannons? Not me.
Your
I was like
your daughters probably.
I think they were actually way better than I was
Yeah.
with the cannon. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You know.
You're- oh,
For real.
So y'all started talking
never
about
even been there.
the 3D printer benchmark boats.
So I did my the first bit is free dealer bit on Mark here, and convinced him to get a 3D printer. And so I have had my 3D printer for not quite a year, maybe like 8 months or so. I think since like the beginning of last spring, and it is by far the best toy I have ever gotten, ever.
It's like
You can make anything.
You can make anything.
You can make
It's
anything
scary.
with a 3D printer. It's absurd. This is a Picasaurus.
Check out this one.
So this is Benchy the benchmark. He's a test to make sure how good your printer is.
Oh, he's the wrong color. He's the green screen color.
I
so
know,
he's
that's why I'm quoting nothing.
put it up to your face. Your face gonna have a
Dude,
hole in
I'm
it.
so glad you got this as this color filament.
That's so great. I love. That's my favorite color.
And
And the best one's
oh,
the
this
yellow
one's
one.
better than the green one, by the way. You can tell it's number 3, where this one's just number 2. Number 3.
So
Number
he
2.
made me this Picasaurus. It's a Stegosaurus that you put your guitar picks in to keep track of them.
I got like 2 of those at my house. One for me, one for my daughter.
How cool!
And they're some of my favorite things.
And
Thank you, buddy.
printed
He surprised
the,
us with it. And what'd you get? You got
What'd
the.
you get? Did you got it?
Did I bring it in with me or is it
No, I
downstairs?
think it's
Yeah, you know what?
downstairs,
It's
but-
downstairs. You want me to go get it?
We're still shoved in here.
Nah, it's fine.
You sure?
But
Yeah,
it
we'll
is.
show later.
It is
It's rad.
this long,
It is awesome.
and it is the Thundercats
Sword of Omens.
Sword of Omens.
I had forgotten that until I like downloaded the file.
Thundercat.
Ho!
Oh.
But it's like the best part
Thundercat.
about having a
Oh.
3D printer is that like everything, it's not only just a toy you're making, you're also making a project. Like because you're gonna have to sand it, you're gonna have
Right.
to.
And that's what I did. That yours
a
was
whole
actually
hobby.
the first project I've had to like assemble it really, and like glue stuff together. And I think it turned out all right.
What are
Mark,
you
show
making
off.
down there, by the way? Anyway, so we were talking about it because now Mark has one too.
Oh,
and
that's an Oculus
before
stand.
too long they're gonna make me
Yeah,
get one. I'm
building
sure.
An Oculus stand, it's 50%, or I'd say it's about
It's about half done.
75% done. It's printing the top part where the Oculus thing goes. But yeah, that's the first thing I'm really printing is an Oculus stand.
By far, the most useful thing I've printed are these little sanding sticks that you put sandpaper on and can like sand like real detailed spots in woodworking.
Like,
So
I
you,
wanna
wait,
print
so
like
you can
1,000
so you have to
things, but-
sand the stuff that it prints, but you can print a sander.
No, yeah, you could. Yeah. Also, there's a whole community.
That's like an inception.
No, wait, it gets better. There's a whole community out there on the internet that's about printing your own printer,
Yeah,
and that's how Skynet takes over.
I've even started. I've only had it like
A week, yeah,
and I've started printing upgrades
Yeah.
to the printer.
To the printer.
yeah. That's like a whole community is like print out upgrades to make the printer better. Did you
Like
print
already-
out the handle?
Yes.
Yeah, good. The handle's a good call, and the little like tool
I'm
holder
about
that goes
to
on
print
top.
out the little tool holder.
Yeah, I like
Thank
that a
you
lot
very much.
too. I'm
So
sorry.
what's the stuff? So what's the so for people that aren't into it, what's the stuff called? So this is all made out of filament.
Yeah, PLA, polylactic acid, I think is what it stands
So it's
for.
it's basically a plastic.
It's plastic. It's just
Okay.
straight up plastic, and it
Everything-
melts it.
Everything is made of plastic.
And you can see the layer by layer up close.
Should we plug where you?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got
For
this
sure.
stuff.
I got it all locally from
Yeah.
the guy in the mall. It's called Navarre 3D Printing.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Well, he probably
I bet
started
you
in
it's
Navarre.
because they started in Navarre and have grown. I bet.
They need a new name, like Awesome Dude in the Mall.
Yeah,
or
the like
something.
3D printer in the mall guy who prints things in 3D
But
in
he's
the mall.
awesome.
I can
dude.
see
like,
it.
He's,
It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I can hear the radio ad
he's
already.
given me so much help though. Like
He's a good dude. His dog is awesome.
he does have an awesome dog.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's
Did-
named
Cha-Cha, the pug.
Did he?
It's just Cha.
Do you think
Is
he
it just Cha?
Do you think he 3D printed it or?
I think
The
he may have
dog?
3D printed parts of the dog. He's upgrading the dog.
You know, at this point, I can finally make those robot legs I've always wanted.
Yep.
What do you want those for?
You can jump over buildings and stuff.
I don't think that's what Mark
Parkour.
wants them for.
It's a parkour.
Because it comes with a robot dick.
It's been lonely in the bed.
Yeah. I mean, you really need one, so. Anyway, so yeah, the 3D printer shop in the mall. I really like that place. I
That's
need,
Santa
I would-
Rosa Mall here.
Yeah.
If you're from out of town, that's
It's like the only store in the mall right now too.
But,
So
but hey, you know what's great about it?
the gym's there. I go to the gym there.
Like, you buy it, and then it's a ton of work. And then
it does
somebody
not hold your hand.
Yeah, and then there's actually somebody to ask questions, and you don't feel horrible.
Look,
Yeah,
people
well,
should
and
have
then
a
you go
hobby.
and ask me, like, what's going on here? And I'd love to come over and tell you, but I have so many adult responsibilities
Yep.
that
Yeah, it's too
I'm
busy.
lame.
Yeah, I'd like to go to somebody who I'm giving money to that can actually look me in the eye and go, "Oh, you're an idiot."
Jason, though, also
Is there like a whole like thing for that? Because
Has
I'd
a
love
bunch
to sign up for that
of
job.
hobbies. Anyway, so
I have a bunch
it
of
seems
hobbies.
like guys who have hobbies take up all the hobbies.
Lost my mic.
You know, so that people that don't have them don't have anything to do.
No, I think really, in my case, it's just that I kind of have like ADHD, so I just jump between things and kind of do all of them half-assed.
That's
so.
my problem.
Well, I don't know if they're half-assed. I mean, your guitars are pretty awesome.
Yeah, but I only have like, well, I have like.
yeah, but he
four.
still feels
You've you've built 4 guitars.
I've built 5
Yep.
total. That's over the last 20 years,
Yep.
so that's a really long time.
Yep, the first one was this crazy Prince sort of.
Still have that one.
Yeah,
You are
it's
Refinished
amazing.
it last summer, actually.
It is amazing.
And then my latest one. So I cheat now. I get kits because I don't really have the tools to like.
Wait, why don't you get the cats too?
Anyway, I don't really have like all the tools to like shape the wood. I don't have a bandsaw or anything. We're not listening to you.
So the double neck was the
So that's
the
a
big kit that you
it's
got, right?
basically, It's comes. You just kind of like sand it and then put it all together.
So,
and then finish it.
If I'm not mistaken, the double
cheated.
neck that you make is it a 12 and a 6?
It's a 12 and a 6.
12 and a
It's
6
like an
SG
style.
shape.
But
Yeah.
he's kind of like
That's
he kinda
amazing.
does like me. Like we start weird. Like you also were into props.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I am too. But we're not prop masters. We're just
Prop makers.
Not with that attitude.
Prop
Speak for yourself. See my shit. It's gold.
So we've got
Welcome to
this-
the Beat Me and the Mark show.
We've got this prototype proton pack right here, but that's fake.
It's a lot like a.
That's just a picture of one. But these guys have both built their own. Is it a proton pack?
I built
Yeah.
2. Well, I built 1 and it was like made out of wood, so it weighed like
He
170
also does
pounds.
guitars and then he printing things.
Well, so here, my thing is,
Right.
I got a new house like 3 years ago with a garage.
God,
And
I wish I had a garage.
That's what changed my life.
Yep.
What
You
do
have, like,
they
the
call that?
space.
Something of all, master of none.
Yes.
Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades, but master of none. That's
Yeah.
pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of that, I do like little like electronics projects. I made like a little like portable guitar amp. I
Right.
still use. I'm just probably start dipping my toes into like building like distortion pedals and stuff. I got my like so many like ideas that I'm pretty sure all of these things I'm going to half-ass and not.
Well, there are a bunch of kits for pedals too, by the way.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I want to actually make my own thing for scratch
Yeah.
for that. Like I will, and I say that, but that's kind of how I approached guitar making 20
Right.
years ago, and look where I am now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably get. A
Well,
kit.
the thing with the guitar pedals though is even if you get the kit, you can modify, you can add transistors
Yeah, you can
and
like
all
swap
that stuff.
out different.
Yeah. So you can get the
all
kit
the
as like a
caps and the resistors
right, as the-
and the
yeah,
wires.
you can
and
like
blah, blah, blah.
you can get the kit and then you can make your own out of it. You know,
Yeah, and the
starting point.
transistors.
The
And the
resistors,
transistors be transistors.
the resistors be
The
resisting
resisting
and
the
whatnot.
resists.
Here, I got one.
Uh-oh.
A resistor. If you
You'll-
could
you'll
fit
need
that in
this
your
for your
guitar
new-
pedal,
That's
For your guitar pedals.
that's like a large resistor. It's an RCA resistor. I didn't just read it off of the resistor. So I think it's a vacuum tube.
yeah.
Yeah, it's used on radio stations and whatnot.
I'm pretty sure just by holding it, we're all sterile for the next like 4 days.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm a incel anyway.
Cool.
Cool.
Good news, ladies.
I hear that's like really hip right now.
That's what the cool kids do.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's like it really fits in with my hate of Star Wars too.
What?
We're gonna get into that.
Well, they blame
Okay, wait.
Star
We're gonna
Wars
talk about.
haters
Have you watched
and
Mandalorian yet?
Yeah, I've watched
I
2
don't
episodes.
have. I didn't get.
Okay,
too
so we
close
can't
to
watch
it.
The Mandalorian. Thanks, Nick.
Can't talk about it. you
Can't
mean?
talk about
yeah.
it. No spoilers. Anyway.
Yeah,
Mandalorian's the
sorry.
best thing.
Not that
I
it
mean,
didn't
I'm
get
gonna
spoiled
say
the
that-
second it came out.
That thing's cute.
Well, of course,
Yes.
everybody knows about the thing.
Dude, even my wife wants to watch that
So what's
show.
so what is a Yoda? Like what is Yoda? Like what is his race
Oh,
called?
I know this. You want me to answer?
What are they
It's kinda
called?
cheating
I don't
if
know.
I
I
answer.
don't know that one.
Well, and I don't know if I think this has kind of been like
I don't
turned
know if
around
it's
because
ever
it's
been-
more of like a legacy thing. But his race are supposed to be called the Wills.
The Wills?
WHILLS.
A Wills.
And the
Wills.
Star Wars saga is supposed to originally have been like the tale of the Wills.
You mean Whittles?
Yeah, like that. I'm probably saying it wrong.
Wills.
The Wills. So Yoda's race
No, it's the Williams.
is that these sort of like master creatures.
Like
Did you just say the master race?
This kung fu.
I think I did.
Race.
He almost went there on accident.
I mean, who am I to argue with Yoda? He's 900 years old. He knows better than I do.
It's true.
Apparently 900 years is about how long they last.
Wow. Now we know their expiration.
That baby's only 50 years old. It's gonna
I was trying to do some math and figure out is
only
that
got
actually
850 years left.
yeah, if does that actually line up? Like if the average lifespan is like say 90 years, then that baby's really only like 5 years old, which he seems like kind of little for a 5-year-old.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe they age slowly, so like
Yeah,
maybe
apparently
you're like
that's
a baby
exactly-
for a long time.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Hey, spoiler alert! Don't listen to anything that we just said.
Well, it's
If
too
you haven't
late.
watched The Mandalorian,
No,
yes.
it's too late because like the second it hit the screen, people started posting pictures of that thing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
like I watch a lot of late night TV,
Yeah.
and within 3 days of it being out,
I know.
all the late night comedians already had jokes about the baby Yoda, and it was like, dude, like, what?
Baby Yoda creature.
Yeah, they keep calling
Oh,
it
great.
Baby Yoda.
Now I don't have to get Disney
It ain't
Plus now.
Yoda though,
Yeah,
It's not Yoda.
because it's after
I think they're calling him Yiddle on the internets.
Yiddle.
My eldest daughter and I came up with a name for him.
Okay,
She decided that his name was a little fucker.
a little fucker.
Yeah. So now
That sounds
we
like
to
a
watch
mumble rapper.
The Adventures of Mando and Little Fucker is our favorite TV show.
Cool. I went to
watch it.
I went to a separate birthday party, and your kid was there. Like,
Yes.
That's how
yeah,
deep.
That was. I know.
That's
I
how deep
wasn't
it
there.
goes into the dad life now. At this
Yeah.
point, is that I went
Also,
to
it's Fort Walton Beach.
right. I went
So-
to another parent's kid's birthday, and his kid was at it, and my kid was at it. So they spent another birthday party together that was separate from either of our
I
homes.
think they're all
Why don't
playing
you guys-
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, they were
inviting all
playing
the
Dungeons and
children
Dragons.
Because it's creepy.
You've come to them. What are you talking about? You've been to at
I'm
least
just
2 of them.
kidding.
You guys should invite me to all of them.
I didn't even really know about this one because I heard that you had like shown up after that. I was like, oh, well, maybe I should have hung around
Yeah.
because I know that kid and his parents are pretty cool. And
Well, I got invited. I got invited because like the kid, her friend Cedric, is
Yes,
whose
Cedric,
birthday
yeah.
it was. Me and his mom are like super close friends. We've known each other a long time. She's one of
saw
my
her
best
tonight,
friends.
Actually,
Oh, you saw
Fort
Bells?
Walton Beach High School, yeah.
Oh, cool. But she called me up and was like, "Hey, Seti, like you're the coolest adult we know. Like Seti thinks you're the coolest adult we know. So he would think it was
Hey,
cool.
I'm working on taking that title from you.
So good luck.
heads up.
Good luck. But he was like, yeah, my friend.
You're the cool dad
whatever.
win.
He thought that it would make him look cool if, like, to his friends if I came, right?
Ah.
So I know this rock and
So that
roll
makes
guy.
sense, yeah.
I know
Yeah,
this
that
musician,
makes
right?
sense,
So I show up, but then your kid is like, that's just Nick. He like totally ruined. He was like, I'm bringing this cool dude over. I know this. I know this guy. Yeah, he's this rockin' dude. He has a radio show. He's super
dude on
cool.
radio?
And then she knew me. She was like, "That's
Fucking
just
Nick.
that's just Nick. I've known him since I was literally born."
Literally. Yeah.
So like, it ruined the whole thing.
That's
Whatever.
pretty
I
funny.
wonder what they were actually like. What their
They're
vision of that is,
teenagers, so they
too.
don't care.
They
Like,
don't care?
yeah, every time I try to put on my like cool dad
They did force
shtick,
me to. They did force the guitar on me for a minute, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
we had
they
some
don't do
fun.
that to me at all.
When I was a kid and I was told the cool dad's coming over, I was like, oh shit.
That guy's gonna touch me in weird places.
Fuck.
And now it's us. We're the touchers.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Anyway, what's our next topic?
So, what I wrote, we kind of really did cover everything
Trailer parks.
except trailer park life.
Oh yes, like straight out of Compton. I'm straight out the trailer.
This is true, and that's a specific thing. People make a lot of jokes.
Niceville is such a ritzy place
Right,
to
and they
live.
call it, and everybody's like, "Oh, Niceville, haha." Well, here's the
in
truth
Niceville.
of Niceville:
The real Niceville
is that half of Niceville is trailer parks,
is trailers.
and
One of them was mine.
yes, and there are certain trailer parks that are sort of like retirement communities and sort of upscale, and they're pretty nice. People
The
just
other
live
ones
in
are
mobile
like just
homes.
straight meth.
And then there's the meth ones.
Yeah.
And then there's where me and Jayson J. Peterson grew up was we were like the in between.
Kind of down on their luckish.
Right, we
you
were
know,
like-
lower middle class.
Right, we were the families that like had lived in a house or was gonna live in a house again
and for reasons.
for reasons.
Yeah.
No.
So we were in the middle ground. We weren't in the full on like meth lab trailer park, and we also weren't in the real nice double wide sort of life.
My favorite thing about the
But-
trailer, in my room, there was a certain place I could kind of jump, and I felt like I was going to go straight through the floor.
I remember.
Yeah.
You liked
Yep.
that?
But here's the thing. I think that sort of life has something to do with why we got into all the stuff we got into. So
I didn't get into anything. I'm a good boy.
the reason, well, I don't mean the trouble. I mean like the building guitars and the being in bands. And
yeah.
Like I think
The
because
3D printing.
right, there wasn't a lot to do. So
I'm the king of jerry-rigged shit.
right, we had to learn to do stuff on our own, and we had to make our own entertainment. You know, we couldn't afford like HBO and all that stuff. So it was like
That's exactly why I built my first guitar, because I was like, well, I got this cool guitar.
You built it in a trailer, like no shop. Yep.
Like when I was 16,
I
my
love that
parents
guitar
were like,
too.
you have some savings bonds. We can help you put like a down payment on a car or something. Or you can get that 670 reissue Gives a Flying V down at Tinkle Signs downtown.
Done.
In Wilmington. I was like, still got that guitar, baby.
Yep.
Still got that guitar. It's in the corner of my house. I play it. Sounds great. Had to do a bunch of modifications
Yep.
and swap out all the electronics.
I could barely play guitar when we met, and I picked that up.
Yeah, look at you now.
And I picked that
Fucker.
up, and I couldn't figure out how you could play
So
it.
much better than me.
Like I couldn't. I don't think that. I don't know if that's true, but like I couldn't hold it because I
Yeah,
didn't. Know,
there's-
and you showed me that you with a flying
kinda
V, you have to like
put
put
it
it
over your legs.
across your leg. Yeah, you have to like put your leg in the knot.
Which is still wrong. The correct way to hold it is to not sit down.
right to just put it on a
Just put a
strap.
strap on.
Yeah, for sure.
on. And just play it like that.
He's usually behind you when he says that.
Yeah. He's like
Guilty.
just put the strap on.
Just put the strap on, Nick. It's gonna be a long night.
But I was basically just a piano player when we met. You were the guitar player in a little band that we had. One of the
and,
guitar players.
The other guitar player.
You were our lead player, and he was the rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit that. I'm sorry. Did I ever apologize for quitting that band?
Yeah.
Good.
A number of
because
times.
That was kind of like a real bitch move. On
Well,
my part.
you had to quit for some reason. It was right
I
before
had
our
to
first
quit
show.
because I
so.
was not happy with the number of practices we were getting, and I was like ultra perfectionist.
Right, you were.
And I was
we
like,
weren't
oh
up to
God,
level
we're gonna
yet.
go on stage and we're gonna suck, and you guys still got second place.
We got
anyway.
second place.
Yeah.
Battle of the Bands,
Yeah, that was
1999.
It was like one of my biggest regrets.
we would have
in
got.
my life.
You know that if you had been there, we would have got first place.
You would have got third, probably. But
No,
still,
that's not true.
It's a nice
What we were missing, because we were a blues band, and what we were missing was like the hot licks. And had we had them, I truly think had you been there, we would have got first place. But
think-
I'm not mad at you about it or
I don't
anything
know.
like that.
I don't know.
Never have been.
And it was like a long line. It started out like this trail of like me getting involved with musical projects, and then just sort of petering out.
You get them off the ground.
I get them out, and then I go and like I'm like, oh, I have responsibilities,
It
and
happens.
I go do things. But now that I'm like
You call that
old,
the Peterman Peter?
we could. Is that patented?
The Peter out.
The Peter out.
The Peterman Peter.
The J. Peter
The
Outson.
J Peter out. The J Peter out.
J hyphen Peter out.
Peter out. That's
we
that's
need to
correct.
do a
The
spot
original
every
hyphenate,
week.
everyone.
Yeah.
J. Peter out.
The J's.
J
This week's
Peter
J's
out.
Peter out.
Yes.
Presented to you by.
Something or other.
And we'll
Whatever.
It'll be an image.
It's just we stop there.
It's just a
That's it.
meme, and the image is always my face.
Just like. But
Ah.
but you know, so that band was called the Jamesons, and me and Justin both went on to do more music after that. Justin was in Moments in Grace, that made it kind of big for a while. They toured with like Avenged Sevenfold and stuff, but then now he's gone. Like he just sort of disappeared. I checked on like mutual
The
friends the
internets,
other day.
yeah.
Like, well, I called some mutual friends and was
Oh,
like,
you have mutual. I have the internet.
and I was like, hey, where's Justin? What's he up to? And he just hasn't really been. I don't know what he just. I think he just retired from music, kind
I
of,
could dig that.
or whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about doing the opposite. I'm like 40 now.
Get
so
back
I'm like,
into it?
I only have like one job.
You just start your career now. You're a rocker.
Well,
Yeah, my hard
your
rock
kids
career.
are old enough now to where you can do stuff.
That's pretty much what I'm thinking. Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, my younger daughter started playing guitar a little over a year ago.
That's awesome.
And I'm, dad, so I'm partial,
Well, the
but
youngest,
she's good.
She is good.
oldest is definitely old enough to babysit the youngest. And in some
Which is
places,
funny because in
drive
real
her
life,
around.
I know, maybe.
You can make her.
This is all dad
her
stuff that scares
sister's
me.
Taxi.
Like your Hannah's Uber. from now on.
Yes.
She'll hate us.
She would be really mad.
This is bad parenting.
This is bad.
Yeah, but then they can decide, you know, like, we can get away
I think
with
no. I think that
Now you're going to stop talking.
I think
We're
that
going
not.
to change the subject.
I-
So the Jamesons were, we
It's like, you're
were.
a forever Uber, my friend.
The blues rock band.
Oh God! Yeah. So we're in the blues rock band, and there's Justin. JP was her drummer, and I had a history with JP because he was in. I knew him.
He was in
before I knew
theater.
You.
He was in theater. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was in theater
He
with
probably
me when I
introduced
was in
us.
high school, and he probably introduced us.
Right, and he was my he was my interp partner. So we did 2-man interpretation plays.
Oh, I remember.
And he was my partner. We did some really funny stuff. There was a dirty version of the Hardy Boys skit that we did. That was like the Hardy
Look that
Boys.
up.
Yeah. So like the Hardy Boys were like investigating whatever, but like the whole thing was about all these like really like not so subtle sex jokes. So like I remember.
Best kind.
So there was a scene in it where me and JP were the Hardy Boys, and we had to go to the doctor, and we're sitting on the thing, and the nurse is there, and she's like, "Hey boys, real quick, I need to check on your hormones," and then we said something along the lines of
acting.
we said something along the lines of well, how do you make a hormone? And she said, "Oh, I'll show you how you make a hormone." So
We should have a car.
we won that round.
Nice.
You may have been the judge, so it may have been
The-
the fix might have been.
I
in.
don't remember that. So, and I would have remembered that.
I do know that we went to the finals with that, and I know we walked away with a trophy. I don't know if we won, but we definitely got in the top 3 with that at that competition.
Congratulations.
I think
20
we
years
were in Hattiesburg. Did you go to
Was it
Hattiesburg with us?
Hattiesburg?
Yeah.
I may have gone to Hattiesburg,
You-
but they also had a thing where you weren't supposed to judge like
From your school,
students
right.
from these schools that you represented. So that's probably.
You probably weren't in it. Yeah.
I think one of my most vivid memories. I don't think you were involved with this, but they sent me in to judge a debate round once,
Ugh.
which is funny because you know who's never done debate before?
You.
This guy, and I was like,
you probably had to listen to
somebody
Matt
was
Gaetz.
helping me. One of the students that wasn't actually debating, but he was just sort of like with me. And when everybody left, I just let a look. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, hey, they won, right?
I'd be real confused. Like
I don't
when does
know.
When does it go from debating into just bitching and yelling? At
Yeah,
each other?
I don't really know what's going on here. I'm
things-
just smile and wave.
It was
Am I
a
supposed
weird
to
time.
interject here and say his turn now?
It was a weird time because like
Adjudicated.
this
win.
isn't political, but I think that Matt Gaetz is he's like a direct result of the way politics were going and being on the debate team.
In Niceville High School.
Right,
Circa
because
1997.
I just mean even just in general, like the way
1998.
the high school debate teams competed. It didn't matter if you cared about the subject that you were fighting on the side of. You just picked your side
You just had to come up with the
and
evidence
learned to
and present
argue.
the
Right,
evidence.
even if you personally thought it was false.
You still had to argue.
So
Yeah,
that guy learned to pretend to support whatever's advantageous.
Now I remember him back then. I think
he's still doing the same thing now.
He's not different.
I think he's supporting just what he thinks will keep him getting voted in. If he lived in
I was at work the other day and I
You know.
looked up and I saw his smug smile in
On
the
the TV,
background, and
yeah.
I was like, it gave me flashbacks.
like I said, without getting political, I think if he was from like Seattle, Washington, he'd be a flaming liberal on TV to keep getting voted for. That's what I think personally about that particular dude. Isn't that valid?
It's a valid point, but I think it's incorrect.
Because his
Anyway.
dad is a conservative politician too. So
And
maybe
but I
not.
don't think he was like that conservative. I mean, he was
Don
conservative.
Gaetz was not that conservative. He was like a normal.
Yeah, he was
centrist
like
guy.
he
He's
was
pretty
and
normal
even
dude.
like he's
Yep,
like now
agreed.
like the Senate president or something in the Florida State Senate.
Right.
And he's
He's a pretty
we're boring
level-headed
you,
dude.
aren't we?
Pretty level-headed dude.
I was just thinking about which gun is closer to me.
I think you can overdose on your asthma medicine there. I think that might make it easier
Asthma
there. Is that your asthma medicine? It's it. We're just gonna see him over here like
Hiding a bullet
we're gonna be
in it.
talking, and he's gonna be over here like
Splattered. There's brains on the wall. Like
ODing on I didn't know you could OD on
Should
asthma.
I try and asthma shoot liquid skin?
Ew, no.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not,
do
no.
that.
You
Yeah.
guys wanna eat
I don't
Tide
have
Pods?
medical training, so.
My sister does. She'll.
I wonder how many episodes we're gonna have to do before we start just doing like terrible challenges for views. Like, are we gonna be 4
Is that
episodes?
sort of like a bottom of the barrel? Isn't that like sort of like a
We're gonna be-
least
wait,
common denominator?
We're gonna be
Drink some hydrogen
Today we're gonna
peroxide.
get
4 episodes
to
in?
drink
Can you
this
drink a whole
hydrogen
bottle of
peroxide.
peroxide?
Be sure to click that subscribe button.
Whoa.
With every like is another sip of hydrogen
You know
peroxide.
it'll make you vomit like immediately.
It has
There's only one way to find out.
it has bleached your insides. We're gonna put
Don't
that
take
over
away-
there.
Don't take away my medicine. It's Grandpa's medicine.
You know what I used to
Grandpa's
do?
gotta get a buzz on.
I used to breathe fire at Agnostia shows when we were doing Agnostia, and I didn't know that there was like specific stuff you're supposed to use for that. So I would just fill my mouth with rubbing alcohol and blow a flame off a candle.
God.
And then I told the guys at Bob's Bicycles when I worked there that I used to do that,
You
and
do it again.
so they brought it out and made me do it. No, it's a huge flame. I'll burn your bedroom
The
down
whole
if I do it.
room.
But they got a video.
91% too.
But they got a good video of me like blowing a flame in the
Oh,
in the
dude.
in the back room of Bob's Bikes.
Oh, I love you
It's
guys.
a great
You're
video
my
of
favorite
me
people.
blowing a dude.
I love this. We're gonna do this again next week,
Oh,
right?
so I was telling Mark earlier that if you're gonna be at Pensacon this year,
I am definitely. I've already got my tickets,
Okay.
and I've got the Airbnb because the hotels were all.
So you know
sold out
about Weird
already.
Al?
Oh. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, is there going to be a performance by
No, but there's gonna be
What?
a panel. No, I mean, come on, that's a total different like
Yeah,
level.
he's like
Well,
a
you're there,
stadium.
you might as
Like,
well hit the
what are you
vinyl.
gonna do? Put Weird Al in like vinyl? Because there's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah, you can't.
trillion people
The
there.
only place that he could play is
the Civic Center.
the Civic Center where the con is
actually, he
being
could probably
held.
play the Sanger Theater. Actually,
Right, that's a good point.
I don't
yeah.
think they would do the Sanger
Yeah.
Theater for.
You're
But-
telling me you don't want to see what you guys are
I want
arguing.
to see Weird Al.
But you can't pay for both. I mean,
I'm
it's
too old to be optimistic about things that I shouldn't be optimistic.
let's put it this way: no one has enough money to get Weird Al for a convention and a concert. Like
I would
that's
just
a
think
lot
that
of
if
money.
I was Weird Al and I was already coming down here,
Well, he's taking the year off from performing.
he should
Yeah.
just
He's just
bring
doing cons.
his squeeze box.
It's an accordion. That's what
Yeah,
those
but
are
it's
called.
also called a squeeze box sometimes.
Okay,
so
cool. His accordion.
There's a song.
You said no, it's an accordion. A squeeze box is a different instrument.
Is
But
it?
that's
Doesn't
yeah,
have
it is.
keys.
Yeah, squeeze box only has buttons. But
It
anyway,
goes, and that's pretty much it.
I hate both of you.
he got two.
I love you.
He got two really nerdy musicians in a room and like decided
Two
to
I love
argue
yous.
about instruments
more
with
to
us. But I think I got a panel this year.
You got a panel for just you?
Yes.
Oh.
A panel on horror influenced popular music.
You know what my favorite thing about horror is? If I say it a bunch, it sounds like I'm saying whore.
It's hard to say on
Like,
a microphone right
Nick
now.
Flagstar and his whore panel.
His horror panel.
I'm going to tell everybody
Horror.
about that now.
Horror.
Whore panel.
I feel
Exactly
like
the same
it makes me feel
Yeah.
like Steve Martin from The Man with Two Brains, Dr. But yeah, so it's like the history and evolution of horror in music as opposed to like in film or literature
I'll
or
be there.
or connected to both, whatever.
I'm in.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely be at that panel.
Yeah, they I gave him a few ideas and the guy who ran it was like that's the one.
Oh, Evil Dead is coming back.
Yes,
right?
we're doing Evil Dead.
Are you
again.
going to do Evil Dead again, like the little like review that you did last year?
Yes.
Dude, that was like I think that was my favorite part of Pensacon.
Oh,
last year.
I'm not. Yeah, we haven't set that up yet, but I'm sure we will, and probably do it with a live band this
God, I
time
hope
too.
so.
But we're
I'm
doing Evil
super
Dead
excited about
again, and I don't know if you heard about the comedy festival yet, though.
I did hear about the comedy festival.
So-
I saw it on the Facebook.
guy there.
That guy's going to be there.
He's gonna be there,
That
and
one. Who is that?
Gilbert Gottfried.
No,
Affleck.
I think it's the other guy.
And
a different guy.
Ashley Larry's gonna be there.
No, that's not him.
Well, Gilbert Gottfried's our headliner.
No, it's not Gilbert. No, you're thinking of You're thinking of Steve Carell or somebody.
What?
I'm screwing with you. Go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, a couple other comics, but mostly Gilbert
Yeah,
is
that's
the big thing.
Yeah, he's so dirty. I love him.
I love him so much. Do you guys remember his bit that he used to do with the trays? He had these two round waitress trays, and he would do this little prop act with those real quick, and he would be like Mickey Mouse. It was all clean and like really wholesome. He'd be like, "I'm Mickey Mouse," and then he would drop him down and be like, "Dolly Parton."
My favorite thing is like his audiobook version of 50 Shades of Grey.
Mine's money.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, well, I don't think it was a real thing, no, but I think that it was
He did
like
like
a bit.
of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on the YouTube.
Remember when he was on Stern, and Stern had a clip of him answering the phone out of character, and he played it, and there was a whole controversy. You guys remember that
I don't
shit?
remember that, no.
Well, I mean,
no.
there's a documentary about him that is completely out of character.
Well, so back in the 90s or whatever,
Not
Stern's
that much into Gilbert
I was
Gottfried.
more surprised.
Stern's
that
manager-
the Gold Cat Godfrey.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Goldthwait.
He's like a normal dude now. He's actually a pretty popular
Like I
director.
thought that
Director,
he was
yeah, he
more
did some cool
real.
stuff.
I thought that character was more him than.
Yeah, I heard him
Right.
on NPR one time, and he was like regular, and it took me a minute to figure out like who's this guy keeps talking about stuff that he's talking about Bobcat Goldthwait.
Wait, he
Toxic.
is Bobcat.
Oh crap, he
Yeah,
is
that's
Bobcat
crazy.
Goldthwait.
Yeah, but yeah, Stern's manager like called Gilbert to have him on the show or something. He wasn't expecting the call, and he picked up the phone out of character, and he's just like, "Hey, who's this?" I know, it's normal.
Yeah.
And when he's out of character, he's out of character.
Yeah.
You don't expect somebody to record that shit and then put it on the show that you're. So he's sitting in with Stern, and then they were just like, "Hey, what's this about?" And play, and he's just like, "Dude," because that was the first time anybody in public had
You're
heard
gonna come
out of
come in my
character.
house and
Man,
pull that
Howard.
shit on me. Really? Well, it's Howard Stern, so
Yep.
what do you expect?
Yeah, that's another one of those that like he's kind of now out of character, right? Like he's now like doing a wholesome sort of show.
Who
like,
Howard Stern is?
Yeah.
I don't keep
He's
up
doing
with
a
it.
whole-
he does like it's
The
not
only
wholesome,
radio
it's
show I keep up
intelligent
with is
now.
y'all's.
And he makes fun
It's just
of,
Small Town Riot on 103.1 The Shark.
He makes fun
I
of
almost said the
anything
old
edgy.
Shut up.
He's like,
1031 the Shark.
Shark.
why are you guys talking about? We're on the YouTubes.
The what?
The what?
What's that?
YouTubes.
YouTube's.
Is
that
so
like
when
a
you're
dish
looking for
dryer?
porn or plane tickets, you Loogle it.
Is there porn on the YouTubes?
No, there's porn on the Pornhub.
You know,
There is.
there is not porn on the YouTubes, but if you look up porn-like things, there are videos that are like pointlessly close to porn.
On YouTube.
Yeah, if you like look up like camel toe on YouTube, there's just tons of videos of like girls
Sounds
pulling their yoga pants up into
homework
under
to me.
their crotches.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
Where
the
are
internet. Like
these
why wouldn't you
oh,
just
an
look up the
awful
porn?
video?
Just look
Like
up-
where do you find these videos?
If you want
so I
boobs-
don't find them.
If you
On
want boobs on
YouTube.com/camel toe.
Just search any Juggalo video. I swear, any gathering of the Juggalo video on YouTube.
Don't.
You would
Enjoy
know.
boobs. There you go.
Yeah, but they're boobs that are getting like covered in like Fago and face paint.
Yeah, they're pretty gross boobs, but they
I'm
are
not
free,
comfortable with this conversation anymore.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
free YouTube boobs.
.com.
For YouTubeboobs.com. You boobs. That's probably a website.
Now that's
probably a real
non-entrepreneurial.
Youboob.com. I've never looked for that.
That every time
Thing.
I watch a Juggalo, like one of those gathering of the Juggalo
You see a
things,
boobie.
I'm always amazed. I always enjoy watching how far down those people.
But isn't that like one of those like ask the monkey's paw sorts of things? Like you're like, wow,
Like you get the wish, but it comes
I'd
with
like to
some
see
evil.
some boobs, and you get Juggalo boobs.
No, I don't
instead.
go. I'm not going for boobs. I'm
Like,
It's
oh,
like
crap.
it's
I
a
wanna-
monkey.
Is that my grandma?
It's a monkey's paw
I
situation.
want to watch.
I'm scarred.
I want to watch all the people whose.
I'm
lives are-
contacting
oh, God.
ICP's lawyer for the therapy bills.
Oh, you guys are old. We're old.
We
let's,
are old.
Yeah, let's be real. We're old, so we all three remember specific things from childhood that kids these days will never understand, like watching the Woodstock documentary for the boobs, porn in the woods, box of porn in the woods.
I never experienced that.
It was one in our neighborhood.
There was?
Yeah.
20 years later.
Sorry,
Now
man.
I know.
Yeah.
Crap.
I was a little younger when we found that. We didn't know each other yet, but
But I'm from Shalimar, so we found. Our
And
Let's
then,
see if we
um,
can 3D
in the
print a
golf
time
course.
travel device
3D print a time machine.
like in Napoleon Dynamite. And
Have you guys
take
ever
care of that.
seen the movie Primer?
Yes. Yeah.
You've seen Primer?
I've watched the movie Primer, and I've read up on what happened in that movie far longer than I spent actually watching
the movie because it's really intriguing.
It's a research movie.
And
it's a movie you have to research.
It's basically what they did. They basically were 3D printing.
They were 3D printing. They were running some sort of field or something.
Right.
And then, oh my God, we're going to start talking about Primer. We're going to be here for 5
I
hours.
just typed in Primer, and for some reason, it pulled this up.
Nobody can see that.
I mean, yeah. That's Primer.
So
anyway, things
so
that
it's a
kids
time
can't relate
travel.
to.
Yeah, it's a time travel. Yeah. So things kids can't relate to. Box of Porn in the Woods, Woodstock documentary, National Geographic as your spank rag, right? Like National Geographic thought they were sly. Like if they're natives, we can show the boobs. No one will think sexually about these natives. And we're like
11-year-old males.
And we're like
challenge accepted.
We're like, yo, it's the '90s. That's just a naked black chick, son. Like, give me that Neo Geo, baby.
And then if you got really lucky, you'd find like one like in like the library at school.
Oh yeah, that one was always worn the hell out.
And it had to be everyone's secret because if somebody said something, somebody got wind of it, they would be the hell out of there.
You guys are disgusting.
Remember just the pages of the pages of the encyclopedia that had the picture, just the drawings of
like anatomy.
Remember,
like the anatomy books?
Those pages were worn out.
Was way better than that.
Huh?
Squiggly lines for the
Spice Channel squiggly lines.
Oh
yeah. Spice Channel squiggly lines. Like, is that a boob? That might be a boob.
That was like postmodern abstract porn.
No wonder everyone's no wonder we're all twisted and crazy.
Yeah,
like, society's weird because we
and
all.
what it is, it's just like the '90s.
It was all an
they
abstraction.
didn't really have that before,
right,
or after.
If you were a teenager in the '90s, you probably have some pretty bizarre outlooks on sexuality because you watched it all abstract and squiggly instead of like just getting the talk from your dad or,
I'd rather watch abstract and squiggly
than ever have that discussion with your pop about.
Yeah, I was like, that's. I'm okay. I'm glad I was raised in the '90s, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks for
opened our minds, maybe.
That. Yeah. This was a good time.
Yeah, can we move off of this, seeing parents naked thing?
I didn't realize we were talking about that. Like, are we talking about seeing?
No one was talking about seeing your parents naked.
Your parents or my parents? There's a big distinction there. I don't know. Did I ever meet your parents?
You met my mom.
Okay.
Yeah. You met my mom
before. I remember if she was cute or not.
My mom's nice looking, yeah.
Okay, she's probably better looking.
Yeah, but she did it with your dad.
Ooh.
Yeah, my mom was out of my dad's league. I'm gonna go ahead and say.
That's something else
my pop
you
was
and
cool.
my children have in common.
It's not true.
Jason, you undervalue yourself.
You've aged well, though. I will say that I think, and this is from just a totally
I do.
friendly, we've known each other a long time, old friends perspective. I think you're better looking now than you were when we were young.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Really?
I really do.
Because I'll be honest with you.
The salt and pepper works for you.
I think I really appreciate that.
You've grown into a handsomeness.
You know what I haven't grown into?
Oh, well, that doesn't matter.
More of a grizzled look.
It's a dad bod. Like, it fits your whole look now.
It frames Tron perfectly.
Your belly button is the portal into Tron.
It's like a shadow box or something for this Tron picture right here. Speaking of Pensacon.
Tron. That's correct.
Bruce Boxleitner is going to be there. I think David Warner is also going to be there.
Yep.
Who was in the movie Tron.
Some great
stuff.
I really
like
Tron.
I love Tron.
I really liked Tron. I was a kid.
Greatest American Hero. William Catt. He's going to be there.
Kathy Najimy is actually.
Oh, I know. That's
pretty
crazy.
excited about her. That's pretty awesome.
That's crazy.
There's a bunch of voice actresses that my daughter. So my daughter made me watch anime. Mark's gonna hate this.
Which animes did you get into?
All of them, apparently.
Yeah.
Like about a year and a half ago. So like she'll be like, I'll get these like heads up on Facebook about so and so, the voice of so and so being a Pensacon, and it's one of those.
So she's super stoked. Yeah.
Hey, check this out, Layla. Look who's gonna be a Pensacon. It's the voice of Uraraka on My Hero Academia. And she's like, oh.
So
and I'm a cool dad.
The anime that I was into way back in the '90s was the stuff that they would show like late at night on Cartoon Network. Remember that?
They still kind of do that, but only on Saturdays.
So I would record them on VHS tapes.
That's the right way to do it.
Right, and I had Vampire Hunter D, which that is an incredible movie. And then I had this movie that no one ever knows about when I talk about it, and it's called Twilight of the Cockroaches.
I thought you were going
to say
something
I've
else.
never heard of that.
Twilight of the Cockroaches.
I think the roaches
Listen. Just wait. Twilight of the Cockroaches
Google this up.
is definitely where what was the MTV movie where the roaches lived in the guy's apartment?
That was Joe's apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was definitely the basis for Joe's apartment. It's a live action movie with animated cockroaches, okay? But it also incorporates claymation and stuff too. So the idea is the cockroaches are friends with this dude who lives in this apartment.
It's Joe's apartment.
Okay. And then he gets a girlfriend and he doesn't want the roaches anymore. So he goes to get rid of them, and it's like the Holocaust for them. They're all running away and being killed by poison. So one of them tries to escape to an apartment across like the way.
I'm looking this up to make sure this isn't some sort of weird fever dream on your part.
It sounds like it. On the way to getting to where this cockroach is running to, he meets a talking pile of dog shit that's made of claymation that tells him, like, you've got to go past the big tree and past 30 pieces of grass and you'll find the other apartment or whatever.
Was that your first ever appearance?
It's
in a
absolutely a thing.
Right? Twilight of
Yeah.
the Cockroaches.
It's totally a thing.
And
It's an
it's-
animated movie.
And it's based on, like, the Holocaust. Like, there was all these metaphors in it for the Holocaust and all kind of crazy other shit going on or whatever. But, amazing movie that I am pretty sure I'm one of, like, 30 people who have ever seen it. And I have a VHS copy because, like, it was the 90s. So one day, man, I'll put that shit up on YouTube, son.
Hell yeah.
Cartoon?
You're going to
Well,
get
it's-
like 15
Oh,
views.
it's anime.
This is a guest guy.
Oh,
I just
yeah.
explained the whole...
The entire thing.
Yeah, it's
I was
anime.
there.
He said, what is this, a cartoon?
It's like a cartoon. Is this one of those Japanimation? Are there anime titties in this?
Then I heard cock and got excited for a second.
And then, oh wait, then the
And then
roach
I
showed
said
up and-
roach and he wanted to get high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got excited. And fucking
Oh
anime.
man. What a
Fucking
what a
anime.
circle of disappointment that
It
was.
was.
It's like think you're going on to like Space Mountain and turned
Like,
out
you
a
guys
small,
wonder why
small
I'm
world.
suicidal so much? That was one of the fucking reasons right there.
Anime?
That whole anime thing.
Where did it show us on the
Let's
doll
talk
where
about-
anime touched you?
Yeah, when did these thoughts start exactly? What's your early mismemory?
Probably when I
of
started
anime.
hanging with you.
Okay, so that would be circa 2003,
Yeah, I think you and
2004.
Gilligan would run into the studio.
Oh,
and be
Gilligan, I haven't thought about that guy in a long
Oh,
I
time.
did. I went and fixed his computer the other day.
Yeah, how's he
Oh.
doing?
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing pretty good. Yeah.
Have you guys
great.
seen the latest Dragon Ball? Oh my god. And you
True
would
story.
Drag me into the studio to
I-
watch some fucking endless fucking fight.
Gilligan would watch that, not me. I actually never really
Well, I
watched
love
anime
you
until
with-
about a year and a half ago.
Right.
I'm such a
Because your kid
poser.
got you into it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It was like, it was something to watch.
You're not a
with,
poser. You're just a
Originally, it was
noob.
like, okay, I'll hang out with you and watch these stupid Japanime cartoons.
See, that's
and
what
then,
we
like
used to
3
call it.
months later, I'm like, hey, we're gonna watch tonight. We're gonna watch there's new My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
JoJo's on, and we went for My Psycho. And just blah, 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 blah.
You know
And
what?
I was like invested.
I'm pretty sure my VHS tape calls it Japanimation. Like we never called it anime back then.
Yeah, well, they called
It
it.
was
I think they called it like
Japanimation.
Toonami on like
Yeah.
the Cartoon
Yep.
Network back in the day.
Yep.
It's still on Saturday
Yeah.
nights.
But Japanimation is
2
what I
a.m.
knew it as. And I kind of remember like Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Remember, like to me, that was like the beginnings
That's
of that
another
stuff.
great example of a giant pile of shit.
Speed Racer,
Yes.
like the original Speed Racer.
Why would I fucking watch
It's a monkey.
a poorly dubbed, shitty fucking show?
So let me tell you about
Hey, where's the fucking kid and the monkey gonna be again?
tangentially related. One of my most clearest memories of my early adulthood. We're about I think, 18, hanging out with a friend. We go over to TJ's house. He's like, "Look, I got a VHS of a couple of episodes of Voltron. Let's
I
watch
love
Voltron."
Voltron.
I'm like, "Fuck yeah, Voltron's the bomb."
It
he
is.
put that in. We watched that show. It was shit.
You didn't like
I was-
Voltron?
Dude, yeah, I was like 18. I'm like,
Oh, you were
looks like
18.
I'm not 5 anymore and don't
Yeah.
enjoy this.
I wouldn't watch it now.
Yeah. Now the new Voltron Netflix show is kind of good.
I will say that I think that Speed Racer and Voltron, they all have the same kind of appeal as Scooby-Doo. It's for little kids.
Yeah.
It's, you know what's going to happen. It's repetitive. It works on that thing like a sing-along. It's
Yeah.
like it works the same way a sing-along does, where it's just like you're comfortable there. You feel like you know the characters because
know
they do
what's
the same
going on.
thing always. They don't throw these surprises at you. So it's not challenging in any way, but it's for little kids. You know,
It's a good call.
right?
You two were below average kids.
I
And
mean,
now, look where we are.
yeah.
You and your Speed Racer watching.
Look at him. He's just become an angry troll over here.
Okay,
Just
now we know the best way to set
The
off
buttons,
Mark.
yeah.
Mention Star Wars, mention anime, whole night's ruined.
So what's your deal with Star Wars, buddy?
I just don't like it anymore.
You saw the
Oh,
Last
anymore.
Jedi.
You don't like
You
what?
didn't like the Last
I don't
Jedi.
like what it's become.
Okay, you don't like the new stuff.
No.
See, that's why I thought you'd like The Mandalorian so much, because it's
The
so...
Mandalorian's okay.
It's basically a spaghetti western, but it's in space.
Yeah, I'm willing to give the Mandalorian some space.
Okay, good, because I think it's
right now.
amazing. The Mandalorian is like my favorite
But
thing.
yeah, I mean, come on, the last two movies. What we wanted again as Star Wars fans was for our three main characters to get back together again one more time,
Yeah, I think we waited like 10
And-
years too long.
and then let them.
That should have happened like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they should have put Han and Luke and Leia together for one quick episode, like and then,
Some sort of
and then
scene
had
at
them
least.
introduce Rey.
They should have
They could
had.
have found Rey on a planet, and she's the only hope or something.
They
but-
should have done it back in like 2006.
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
didn't.
there's that
Yeah.
too. Before
They
everybody got
wanted
like
to switch
near death.
everything.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
George Lucas was like, oh, everybody hates me because they didn't like the prequels, because nobody can tell me no when I'm making a movie.
But now I love the prequels because at least they're different.
I don't. I still like the original trilogy.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
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 Oh, I don't-
Actually, you know what I like?
I don't
is,
hate the prequels,
The
though.
animated. I like the
They're not
Clone
good,
Wars.
but
Clone Wars is
The
awesome.
cartoon. I
Yeah.
started watching Rebels.
after season
on Disney
4,
Plus.
I think. Season
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I mean, they had that whole arc where they're on that planet.
But you
where
know
it's
what?
just the
I almost
clone
didn't like
troopers.
that because it got real close to fucking anime.
But it's like fucking Band of Brothers, but with Star Wars.
Right.
Dude, that
Yep.
particular. I
It's a
gotta
war.
remember
It's a
that.
full war movie.
It was like the.
Which one? Rogue One? Are you talking
No, it was the Clone Wars episode arc where there were all the clone troopers on the planet, and they had that asshole Jedi general that was like okay with them all going off and dying and everything, and they ended up.
about? Why
having,
would you care? They're a bunch of fucking clones.
that was the point.
Hey,
Is that was his attitude?
hey, Star Wars nerds. Check out this Peter Pan creepy shadow. Turn the back the way you were. That's showing up behind Mark there. Look at that. Ooh. It's like a digital shadow. Ew.
Oh, I see,
See
it.
that?
I was actually looking over here instead of at the.
Oh, sorry.
monitor.
I was
So,
I was like
I
pretend
was like,
pointing.
am I
Mike just
missing
wanted to
something?
interrupt me. That's okay. Fine.
No, I just thought that was pretty cool.
I
It's a
should
cool
keep
effect.
that in mind.
No.
Well, I think
Get
you're
you back.
similar about all the stuff you like. Like, and I mean, and we agree on some of it. Like, we're both Trekkies, but we both probably right now prefer the Orville to like the actual
yeah.
Star Trek, like
Star
the stuff
Trek
that's going on.
STDs, the fucking Star Trek Discoveries.
Star Trek All Access. Actually, I haven't watched any of like the
Your line is you're talking. See, you're making noise pulling out.
Now, neither
professionalism.
I don't know. Are those me? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm way the hell off the screen, so I
You're
don't
off
even
the
know.
screen because the only thing you're gonna do is pull it.
Well, I sure hope
Great.
that-
But yeah, so yeah, basically the same thing. Like he's the same way with Star Trek as he is with Star Wars, which is like, you know, I'd prefer a
That's it.
slightly
No,
off version of it than the main thing that it's turned into. And I agree with that.
I prefer what it was, and I prefer
Yeah.
the plot to continue coherently.
I think the Orville is somehow more related to like Next
Well, it
Generation.
is Star Trek now.
right than it is to than the new Star Trek stuff is to it, you know.
I bet you
that's
Picard
what I
is
think
gonna
too.
be like, I had a fucking kid with the Borg Queen, and now I gotta fucking run around the universe. And
I think Picard's going to be like very much in the same vein as like the new Star Trek movies when it's very like action oriented.
Right.
Which I don't think is. I actually kind of like the new Star Trek movies. I mean, that
they're
may be
okay,
a.
but they're
I,
not.
they're okay.
I thought they were pretty cool.
I think they're
not
cool,
Star Trek.
but I agree they
They're-
don't have the right vibe. They don't have the humor
They're not Star
aspect.
Trek.
But they do have.
They're not asking interesting questions. They're not making you think. They're not telling a real story.
And they're
That
not.
dude that's in The Boys now, that actor, what's his name?
the dude that's in The Boys.
I don't know the boys.
On Amazon Prime, you haven't watched The Boys yet?
I've only watched Good
You
Omens.
should watch. Yeah, we're about to get into The Boys. Is about like the superheroes, but they're like super corporate, and like
you're
have
talking about the
on Amazon
show?
Prime. Yeah, that's a good show. I can't remember the
You're
name of
talking
that. actor.
about Keith Urban?
Yes,
Or
not
Urban?
Keith Urban. Carl Urban. Carl Urban. Keith Urban. I'm going to call him that from now on. Keith Urban. He was awesome in Dread.
I do kind of agree with Mark though that the new Star Trek movies don't do the thing that Gene Roddenberry really would like to do, which was
I didn't like this one so much.
he like it's
just a copy. It's
Yeah.
exactly what we're doing now.
it's
Yeah.
not doing the like
Star Trek con, and then
it's not doing the here's a better future for you to strive for
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's like it's leaving out that socio-political aspect.
Yeah, and I
I
think
think.
even like the Next Generation did that.
I
Yeah.
really love
Oh, for sure.
The Force Awakening, but it is basically
The same
It
movie.
is
them
basically.
doing New Hope again, and this is them doing Wrath of Khan again. and
Yeah.
we're not gonna
Well,
get-
it literally was them doing Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, it really is.
Hero's gonna eat
your
your
boat.
Benji,
Don't eat my
but he's
Benji.
still gonna be a good boy.
Yes, he
You're a good boy.
There's a
You're a
ball.
good boy.
There's a
You're
ball.
such a good boy. I love puppy dogs.
Oh, yes.
This is why I don't like this chair. I can't reach down pet the
I
puppy
know.
dog.
We put our
Oh,
guests
he's
out
always
of
a puppy dog.
out of dog range. I think that we're gonna have you back a lot
I can probably come back.
because you
a
know
lot.
we
Today,
originally
actually, this was the most difficult day for me to do it because I had like a thing going on, and I still made it happen.
well the thing
And it
is
doesn't look like he hates me when you're here.
No, it's just me that looks like he hates you,
You're
but
right,
I
you take-
don't
you
because
take
I
that wrong.
love you, Mark.
that's what I say to him too. I love you,
So
buddy.
you literally said I hate you
Four now.
True, but
on the video.
but originally, this is an interesting full disclosure.
Next week you're literally gonna say you hate
Full
me.
disclosure, we talked about doing a podcast, the three of us,
Yeah.
for quite a while.
Yeah.
But our schedules, because of dad life, because me and Jay's dad life is like
Grown-up
impossible.
responsibilities.
So,
It fucking sucks.
so I think what we'll do is that like you'll be like a recurring character. How about
Okay.
that?
I like
You
that.
know,
Yeah, I
like,
like that.
we'll just bring Jayson J. Peterson
what was
in.
the name we wanted? We were like, I liked it was like high, drunk, and sober. Or
We came up with a few. We came up with a few names. I
We'll
wish
have
we
to
still
look
had
back
those.
in our chat.
You have to look at our text
yeah, we're
messages.
gonna
Yeah,
go in the chat.
We're fucking
Yeah,
the
'cause we
shot.
had like
Ah.
a brainstorm session in
So
chat.
we are actually at about an hour.
We are. Wow. It feels much longer.
Thanks for
And that's the sound of my
checking out the
microphone
channel.
being shut down.
Fuck guys, I'm going to go somewhere
click
else.
that like button, click that subscribe button. Y'all give a shout out for Jayson J. Peterson.
Titties.
You know that I think the world can't see us when you have that on either, because they just see the blackness that you see.
It's a metaphor
That's
for adulthood.
This is Mark.
Unlike-
These are Mark's
unlike
last
you-
moments,
unlike-
everyone.
Unlike Flagstar, blackness does not scare me because I am not a racist.
We're so proud of you.
Wow. Another round of applause.
Yay!
Mark's not a racist, everyone.
By the way, everybody, I'm a social justice warrior. I'm extremely woke. If you had any problems with this episode, I will have JP killed. Wait, where am I? In space?
They don't know.
All right, yeah, like and subscribe,
He's gone.
please.
I hope. Or not.
Pickosaurus.
I like that guy.
Me too.